Now, if we speak about like an oldie but goodie, like this deck is super old school. This goes like back way. I want to say like 20 years, basically. It probably doesn't look anywhere close to what it used to look like.
Oh, yeah.
But Picon is going to show us like what Pikula is going to look like today. It looks like both players kept fetch land and pass. And like initiative is usually a deck that has like the huge breakout right on the first or second turn. Like if there's not going to be anything exciting on the first or second turn, I'd be surprised. So let's see what Jornet got there.
Okay, it's like a rather like a slow start, it seems. Just, bringing in like a lightning bolt land here. Usually the initiative decks, like what they can do is like they can drop a Chalice of the Void on turn 1 or like some other prison element, such as even like a Blood Moon or like a Magus or something like that, and follow it up with like powerful initiative creatures or 4th Earlingas. I think I spotted like a copy in Jornet's hand, I think.
It's going to be interesting because when you see the initiative deck just like keep probably what looked like a 7 and then pass on a tapped land, you feel like,
that's actually kind of scary.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, we might accept like something exceptionally strong on turn 2, maybe. Let's see.
Like Picon would maybe even been happy like if Jornet had played a creature on the first turn, because like sequencing wise he could have used the Swords of Plowshares there at the end of turn. Instead they both skip their first turn and Picon goes into Hymn of Turge. Yeah, another oldie but
okay.
How do you like to resolve him? Do you like to use dice?
I think most players do that. I think like back in the old days, you just like randomly pick 2 cards, I think.
And played without sleeves and everything.
Yeah, and
you're like, I know that, Mark. That's your best style.
Isn't that like how Brian Kibler started to like aggressively hand shuffle all the time because of cards like Into Torok? I think he mentioned that in one of his interviews.
I can see that. But another really important question: like, which art do you prefer for him?
Oh, I think the most common one is the one with the wolf, I think.
Yeah.
I typically like the one with the 4 people holding hands, where you can see them from the top.
That's the worst one.
You do. You asked me for my preference. There it is.
Now everybody knows you like the worst one. Wear it like a badge of honor. Okay. We're getting rid of a removal spell. Also, the Seasoned Dungeoneer, which would probably be in something that Jornet would have loved to play, but certainly not on 2 mana. We're going to 3 mana. Oh, dude. Ha! 4th Earlingas for 1. Okay. I mean, this makes sense, right? You get to steal the initiative, and Picon doesn't really look like he's anywhere close to re-stealing the initiative. Like, I like that play.
I like this play a lot, too, especially after Hymn to Torok. Like recouping card advantage is very important, I think, in this kind of match.
Oh, it's not the initiative, of course. It's the monarchy that you become the monarch.
Exactly.
The Shiri's still out. Like, we will see whether she will put on a crown. No? Dude, I love it when people bring like these records that's like...
Or like an actual crown?
Yeah. And then you pass it along. If the other player gets it, like, you pass the crown to the other one. Okay, so what do we actually have on Picon's side? So I saw some reanimation spells. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Reanimate.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen?
That might possibly happen because like the human noise is just a 2/2 now.
Or animated. Yeah. Okay, we don't even lose life. Like -1, -0. Yeah, who cares? Like, okay, so we got the queen on the right side, and we got the person with the initiative. What are you? If you have the initiative, that's like not very flavorful.
The adventurer,
right?
Yeah.
The adventurer.
The dungeoneer.
Yeah, that makes... You got the dungeoneer on the left side, and we got the queen on the right side.
Okay.
Let's see how that's going to... Which side do you like more at this point?
I think like in these type of games, it really comes down to like who has the better board, right? Like who has the better creatures. Like currently, the Seasoned Dungeoneer is like so much better than the Human Knight token. And we already also spotted like a Swords of Plowshares in Picon's hand. So... That's a tough one. Like it looked really good on Jornet's second turn with the Human Knight beatdown, but this is really swingy.
By the way, I love that they have these really big dungeons over there. Do you still remember what all the dungeons do? Like I think I do.
Most of them. I think like the left-hand side gets used like way more often than the right side. So the left side, the left side I think like almost everyone knows at this point.
The left side is the one that's like the aggressive one, right?
Yeah.
-5 life and like +2/+2. And
right, you have the trap and yeah. But the right side is usually used in like post sideboard games. I want to say when scrying is more important, when having like a 4/1 menace skeleton token is more important. Where games go a little longer.
Okay, so on Jornet's hand we see another land and we see a Chrome Mox, and she could imprint Solitude. to cast another initiative creature, I believe, from what I see here. Which, I mean, that's probably the way to go. The only other option would be to basically just play a land and pass and then try to Solitude on the turn after, which is like super slow. And she also stands to lose the monarchy here, so she might be happy to just like put another creature into play and then try to stabilize, but either way, not in a very great spot here.
Yeah, I guess like casting the Caves of Chaos Adventurer is like one way to get the initiative back. Like you don't need to attack, you can also keep casting those initiative creatures, you know. It's like one way to do it.
Oh, but that's where Picon Swords to Plowshares comes into play, right? That's gonna be a problem at some point. But yeah, it looks like okay. So we're gonna steal back the initiative, get a 5/3, which is probably just gonna get Swords to Plowshares. But by getting the initiative back, I guess Jornet gets another land, which she doesn't really need, but I guess it's something. Okay.
I think it makes a lot of her future top decks really deadly. Like a 4th Eolingas is quite impactful, I think, if she top decks one. Also, a hard cost Solitude is kind of nice. We are like already a little bit out of the Archon of Emeria, Chalice of the Void kind of game, as the game is like already in the mid game, late game.
Yeah, that's like way ago. That's like when people could still afford houses and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Like, like we are not taxing stuff anymore. I think it's all about beef on the field. So
yeah, I think Jornet really needs to find some kind of removal spell, or as you mentioned, right, maybe a big Swords to Plow, Fourth Lingas might do it for her. But right now, the Caves of Chaos Adventurer not getting Swords to Plowshare at the end of turn here, or maybe we are. Not quite sure. Maybe Picon knows better than we do. Looking at a couple of cards, what could it be? Is that that might actually be the fetch land that we're cracking. Yeah, okay, for a scrub land. Oh, yeah, the planes. That's the real planes. That's what a lot of players sometimes do, right? The cards that the opponents know, you just like keep them on the board revealed.
Oh yeah.
Magic Online does
like
it automatically for you, kinda. Okay. So yeah, now Jornet on 25 life, but ready to take. Actually, do you even attack? I guess you have to attack, right? Because right now you don't have the initiative. Yeah, makes sense. You mentioned that.
Exactly.
Orcish Bowmasters.
Okay.
Well, that's not enough to take it out. Unless you got a second one.
Oh, we got the double. We got the double shot. 2 shots.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough for Jornet. Like as you mentioned, right? It's probably gonna be a fourth. We probably need like something like running 4th Elingas to still make this work. I mean, 25 is quite a bit of life to work with, but not too excited about her chances right now.
Yeah, I'm interested in like how attackers are declared in the next couple of turns. Like obviously you can turn everything sideways and try to push as much damage as possible, but you also don't want to lose to like any top deck like hasty creature.
You know what's the best way to not lose to any top deck? You just kill your opponent before that ever becomes relevant. Like the fewer turns you give them, the more, the less likely they are to top deck something that kills you.
I figured you would say that. Yeah.
Just like don't let them live for too long, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That's the land we found on the initiative last turn. So what was the draw for the turn? Let's see. It must be something that makes her think, right? It's not something that plays itself here, so maybe she's... Oh, it looks like another 4th Elingas,
Oh, there is a 4th Eolingas in her hand, yeah.
Is she going all in on that? Come on, I want to see a big one. So I want her to use some Atarix tokens, by the way. I have those at home. They always work really well.
You know where to get them.
Or maybe it's another initiative. I thought I saw another Caves of Chaos Adventure. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just like seeing things, imagining things, because that would be exactly 4 mana. She's running the numbers, right? She's not an immediate threat of like, oh, interesting. That must be Solitude then, right? If she passes there.
Yeah, or it's an incredibly well done like bluff.
Dude,
if you saw your mana, you know.
Which kind of action are you trying to use from the opponent by literally not doing anything? It's just like, maybe I should not attack because they could have like, what's the one? Destroy all attacking creatures?
Oh, it's the Settle the Wreckage.
Settle the Wreckage, that's the one, right?
Legacy staple, of course.
That's the one that could be it. Dude, can you imagine like how busted 4th Elingas would be like if you could cast it end of turn?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
basically instant. Like it's already
Yeah.
like you would still cast it main phase most of the time because the creatures like gain haste and everything. Okay, so where are we here in the dungeon?
So it looks like we are in the second room or in the third. It's either like counters on target creature. I think that's just what happened. Like Season Dungeon has 2 counters on it. And then the follow-up room should be the trap room where your opponent loses 5 life.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So now Seasoned Dungeoneer is probably gonna get in there. Oh, there's also a Solitude on Picon's side. Does he have 5 mana? There's a tapped land in place. I can't really make out what exactly that land on the bottom right is. Oh, okay, so it's the Plowshares. Take out this guy. Some life for you. Interesting that the tokens and the Bowmasters actually did not attack. You kind of predicted that. Oh, okay, they do. Because I was just wondering, because that didn't really make much sense to me. But because I tell you, right, I just want to kill him dead.
Absolutely, yeah.
Still another Bowmaster?
We see like a Troll of Khazad-dûm cycled here for another land.
Okay, so Pikula basically in colors, but gameplay-wise, this is kind of like Black-White Scam, right?
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
Oh, and then we do. Oh my god! Oh, this is such a disaster right now, right? Because now we stand to actually lose. Oh no, that's no grief. Okay, so we just have like a big 6/6 troll facing us. No problem. We can handle that, right?
Yeah. So Troll of Khazad-dûm usually reads like unblockable. It has this like Giga Menace ability where you can only block with 3 or more creatures, and usually in Legacy you don't have that many creatures
we can make
ready to block, but
we can make 5 tokens now, which still isn't amazing. Like if it wasn't for initiative and the monarchy, we could actually stabilize with this.
damn, she even pitched another spirit guide to it. So is this 5 tokens?
Should be 5, yeah. But the problem is, like, what are you going to do? Like, yes, you can attack with 2 and then lose 1 and then get the initiative for a turn. But then the opponent cracks back and you don't have enough blockers. No, you don't. Because the opponent has like 4 attackers and 3 of those. Like, you can sit there and then like throw 3 attackers, blockers on the troll, and then 2 more on the other ones. But that's still bad. You need another 4th Erlingers. That's the only way I can really see this game swinging back to Jornet. I don't even want to say like winning it for her. Or maybe you just go for the damage. Okay, that's what she does.
I mean, you could also like attack with everything here. Lose 1 knight, push through what 8 damage.
Put Picon to 6, and then be like, okay, I don't die on a backswing, but you would die on a backswing, so you can't even attack with all your creatures unless you got something. And of course, if you're super far behind, you always assume your opponent doesn't have what they need. So you can like build a scenario where you can win. So okay, I like the attack. I like the attack actually a lot.
Yeah,
that's actually really cool.
Like we are like in a racing situation here, right?
Oh, he wants to kill that token. He's like, oh, she's keeping 1 token back. Interesting. Okay, and then one of the attackers died to the troll. That makes sense. Wait, now we have 6 of them. What? Those are 2 advanced mathematics. Okay, so yeah, so it makes sense. One of them was lost to the troll. Then we dealt 6 damage down to 8.
And I believe and these are 2 +1/+1 counters on the untapped human knight. I believe so. That's a 4/4 now.
Dude, in my entire life, I would have never noticed that those 2 dice represent 2 different things.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like obviously, like now there's a solitude and things go a little out of hand here, but. Like 4/4 is the perfect blocker against Orcish Bowmasters and the token, right? It basically means that only the troll can attack.
Oh, you know what's really smart, by the way? I totally forgot that if Jornet attacks and steals back the initiative, she also gets to deal another 5, like life loss, right? So she doesn't even need to kill through just like token damage, because even if just 1 token connects, the token connects for 7 and not 2. So unfortunately, of course, Solitude makes it a little bit harder for her because the big token was just removed. But on the other hand, she also gained 4 life. It's actually not that clear how Picon should attack here. I think he's still very much in the advantage, especially since he has another Solitude. Oh dear. Dude, I like these games that get a little bit tricky, right? Not those games that are like over in two turns or something.
Yeah, this is definitely not the typical legacy game that you're signed up for.
Well, what is your relationship with combat math? Do you like it?
I try to play a couple of pre-releases per year to to get the reps in. But typically, combat math is not what you primarily do in Legacy. And
It's like, I do combat, but I don't do combat math.
yeah, like most players are like, oh, I'm gonna attack with everything, and math is for blockers anyway. So
Okay, so enough blockers on Picon's side, so Jornet doesn't have any good attacks here, just passes back. And that's sometimes the problem with initiative, right? Because the great power you get sometimes also comes at a cost. We've seen Simian Spirit Guide used, Chromox used. A lot of these cards in the mid to late game, they don't really do all that much anymore. And if you don't get that initial humph right on the second turn, like the second turn wasn't really all that amazing, then you can sometimes fall behind if your opponent like survives that and establishes a proper mid game. Yeah, and this second Solitude good enough for Jornet to pick it up and shuffle up for the second game. Okay, so what do you expect? Like, do you think Picon is actually going to change it up all that much, or do you think he's going to be happy with the initiative?
honestly, like the deck worked out quite well for him in the first game. I wouldn't be surprised if he basically sticks to the same 75. There might be like a couple of more removal spells maybe in the sideboard that are quite nice in this matchup. Blood Moon effects are not very effective. It seems like there are a lot of basics, a lot of swamps and plains in the attack already. So I feel like the post-sideboard games are going to play out similarly to the first game, where it's not about like, Shells of the Void and Blood Moons and so forth, but like more about like the powerful initiatives or like reanimating on an aggressive troll maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering, like, Chalice of the Void is the kind of card you probably keep it, right? Because it stops, especially on the play, right? It stops the reanimate and sorts the plowshares. But not all that much beyond that. But still, yeah, still something you probably keep. And also, watch out for the Bowmasters, because the Bowmasters, I don't think they're very great in the matchup.
They're sneaky. They're
sneaky, yeah, right?
Everything with Flash is sneaky.
So let's see how that's going to work out for the second game.
All right, let's go.
Okay, Jornet probably going to be on the play, I would guess. Let's see. Hopefully both players get to keep 7 cards.
Yeah.
Picon already picked up his 7. Like, Jornet shuffling. Hopefully that's not a money into 6. We want to see, like, good, strong magic.
I feel like Jornet is probably trying to be the control deck here, because, like, the longer you wait, the deadlier your 4 Irlingers are gonna be. And Picon is probably, like, he already knows that, like, you don't want to give the initiative deck too much time.
You say she wants to play like the control deck, huh? But the thing is, I also want $1 million, right? But especially initiative doesn't really allow you to do what you want to do, right? Initiative tells you what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you open opening hands, you're like, I guess this is my life now, and you go all in on a turn 1 crazy play, and then if they have to sort of plowshares, so be it. So let's see whether she actually gets that kind of hand that she will need. I think she was a money into 6, and dude, I'm all in for the big plays on the first turn. Come on, give me something really big.
Oh, we have a simple pass here. Interesting.
No, there's nothing that would make. Oh, of course, there is something that would make you do that. That is, yeah, exactly, discard. You don't want to get. That's actually so smart, right? Because the dungeon here. Oh, there's a second one. Okay. I was gonna say, if you have the dungeon here and you imprint it to the box, even though you don't need to, at least the opponent can't take it and then reanimate it. But unfortunately for Jornet, well, there's the second dungeon here. There's an ancient tomb, but there's also plowshares. Well, there's your control game.
Yeah, I totally understand why she wanted to play the Chromox there, to have Swords of Plowshares ready already, but this kind of backfired here. She would have liked to play a turn 2 season dungeon here, I think, but
I was gonna say, like, easiest play of the world, right? You just top deck it.
Okay. Oh wow.
Oh, that's see,
dude, this
they
is
hurt you.
Brutal.
Yeah, but it's your him to Tarot, right? The one you want.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's also my favorite.
Everybody in chat, like, chat, please tell Kai that the best him is easily the wolf one.
Oh gosh.
I think that's Drew Tucker or something. Like, you're the guy who knows all the artists, right? You are an artist.
No, it's definitely not Drew
allegedly.
Tucker. Like, Drew Tucker is, like, he does a lot of, like, bizarre art.
I'm pretty sure there must be... No, chat, help us out.
Yeah.
Who is the artist on Him to Tarot?
I think, like, it's Susan Van Camp, I think. But
you're just making up names.
No. I gotta double check, but,
Okay, we got Simian Spirit Guide. We got the Ape Assault. I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's not really getting any better from there. I mean, the only reason to keep it would be like 4th Erlangers, but yeah, I like it in play.
Okay, so...
no, Drew Tucker was the one for High Tide.
There you go.
Yeah, High Tide. High Tide. Drew Tucker did one of the High Tides.
Okay. I'll check this out.
Ooh.
We're shooting monkeys here. Shooting and trading.
So interesting. Do you keep the token or do you keep the Bowmasters? You keep the Bowmasters,
Probably,
right? Yeah. Ooh, see, now we're talking. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Take the initiative, get a Trampler, opponent can't attack. If Jornet gets to untap without Picon having done something about the initiative and this creature, I actually like her position.
Oh, totally.
And then you're just like a couple of running top decks away from completely taking over the game, despite the pretty terrible early turns. So let's see. On Picon's hand, we saw one of the new mass removal spells, right? What's the one?
Yeah, so he has a couple of pest controls, I think, in his hand, which are not looking fantastic here. He could take out the Chromox.
Oh, or he could just take his own.
Or you could take the initiative without attacking.
But why do you like? What do you do when you play auras? When you play like creature enchantments, do you put them like that, or do you put them behind the creature?
I usually put them behind.
You're the one who obscures the
because it usually like the aura doesn't matter too much, but I wanna see what the creature does instead.
Oh, okay. Because there are people who take the aura and put it completely over the artwork, so you don't see the creature anymore. And their argument, and I see the argument is, I want to see both text boxes. Whereas if you put it behind the creature, then you can see the artwork, but you don't see the text box of the aura anymore. Anyway, I'm a purist. I want the creature enchantment behind it.
It's the kid. Thank you so much. Susan Van Camp did the wolf him to Torok.
Susan
knew it.
Easily the best artist on all the wolf cards.
Thank you, chat. I knew I was smart.
Once in your life.
All right, yeah.
Dude, I keep thinking that's replenish in Picon's hand. Of course, it's not replenish. That would be the most awkward replenish ever.
Right.
But it's pest control, as you mentioned. But right now, he's trying to figure out what's the second play going to be. We are pest controlling the Chromox.
Or it's a cycle mode instead. Okay, I like that even more. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Pest control as you can pay 2 colorless and cycle it.
It's also interesting because, of course, you cycle it on the main phase because you might draw in Solitude, right? That's the only reason you do it. Because then you could take out the creature and attack to gain back the initiative. But from there, Jornet can read pretty reliably that Picon does not have Solitude here. Which is like something you can just like maybe later on construct a play around. It's just like something to note from both sides. And of course, Picon now also knows that Jornet, unless he didn't have a white pitch card, of course. I mean, that now we're getting into like the fine details of that. But I like the part about Magic where like, you sent a tell, and you know the opponent picked up on the tell, so you must now act accordingly, and like it's part of the deeper parts of Magic.
All right, so we have an attack here with the Caves of Chaos Adventurer, exiling Broadside Bombardiers, and it looks like we are trading here.
Yeah, everything trades down to even, and Broadside Bomb. Dude, that card is so insanely good. Seriously, like, I underestimated that card by, I don't even want to say by quite a bit, because I thought the card would be good. I just, like, thought it would be used differently, but it's just, like, used in this super brutal manner, right? It just, like, comes down, deals a ton of damage. It's not rare for the card to actually end the game in 2 attacks or something.
Absolutely. A little unfortunate for her that it entered the battlefield like post-combat. You know, it's usually like what you always play, like in your first main phase, get rid of some blockers, you know, push some more damage. Also very difficult to block too. It has Manus.
You also noticed the tail that she sent? She didn't tap like any of her white mana. She tapped that Ancient Tomb she otherwise wouldn't necessarily need to. So I would put her on Swords to Plowshares now.
Oh yeah, she took 2 damage for some reason here.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, Picon doesn't really have any hasty attackers that we know about, but still, like it's more it can be more mana efficient. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a trade you're okay with. You still have the initiative.
The plow.
Or do you?
Honestly, I don't even know who
I thought Jornet should have the initiative, but the dungeon card is still sitting on the side of Picon, so we will see. Okay, see, no Swords to Plowshares there.
Okay. Oh, interesting. And Ephemerate.
Good card, good card.
I mean, Grief is a good magic card, but not as good if your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand.
Dude, this is
Almost no.
yeah,
Ooh, okay. Archon of Meria.
I mean, it's a way to steal the initiative, right?
That is a that's.
And Grief can do the same. It's just going back and forth now.
I'm telling you, like, Archon of Meria is probably like one of the most like obnoxious creatures that got printed in the last couple of years. It has a lot of hate text on it. 3-mana 2/3, and yeah, you get text on your land drops. You can only play one spell per turn. It has like this absolute law effect on it, but it flies, and flying is flying is good in this matchup in particular.
And it looks like Picon actually has. Yeah, okay, yeah, Picon still has the initiative. Because the Caves of Chaos Adventurer, it couldn't get there, right? It was basically blocked by everyone on the board, so they didn't even get to touch Picon, so he kept the initiative. So let's see. He went down the right side. You mentioned, right, how in post-box games you sometimes go to the right side of the dungeon. He now got the, that's the treasure token over there. Getting in for 3 damage, taking Jornet down to 13. So let's see what happens there. Okay, we're passing back, and now the Archon in the air, gonna steal back the initiative, but does Picon have a Swords of Plowshares? I think he would use it there. Looks like he does not. He's just gonna take it. And Jornet, where are you gonna go? Yeah, you're going down the aggro route, right? Okay. Which means you put 2 counters on top of your Archon and you try to win the damage race. I would think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it. That's really like the big question at the beginning of the dungeon, like, you know, like which way you go.
And I like it.
I think there are like upsides for both ways. Yeah.
She's hesitating still. She seems to be the red dice. You know what? I just go through the middle and I skip right to the final dungeon. Okay, she's also going through the right side. Okay.
I like that a lot. Like in the first game was really aggressive, and here in the second game, like, you know, we just ended up with like a Grief and an Archon.
Double Archon, here we go.
But it's not as aggressive, and again, like her best top deck is 4 Elingas. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Okay. There are people playing in this tournament who are not as old as this card. I can't believe it's actually an instant, right?
Oh, this is an oldie, yeah.
Yeah. How does it work again? So you pay like X life and remove X card from your graveyard,
exactly.
And then you look at the top X cards and take one of them into your hand.
Yeah,
right?
I would love to have this card on screen again, but I think it's like it's a black
it's
instant.
Too old. It's like
black instant. It costs black and X, I believe, and X life. And you get to scry X and draw 2 cards, I think.
Okay, we're going to have like the competition for the most out there card of the entire tournament.
Oh, yeah,
Scrying is a card I haven't seen in like 10 years or something in Legacy. It used to be like a thing sometimes in combo decks, right? But
yeah, this is yeah.
This is a value skeletal scrying. Loving it.
Special shout-outs to skeletal scrying. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you draw X. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Dude, this is so much better. Like, yeah, you look at you pay like 10 life and you get 1 card. You're tuned in. What are you thinking? No, you draw X. That's right. That's also why it showed up in combo cards. Cool. So Grief once again stealing back the initiative. I would think. But yeah, Picon still has to wander deeper into the dungeon. What do you get? You get the token here, right? The 4/1.
Yeah, this should be the 4/1 skeleton, which also has Menace.
Oh, Menace. I thought Madness. There's Madness on a token. Yeah, Menace. Oh, dude, we got all the basically unblockable creatures here. Okay, so Jornet's still trying to make this work, but Picon is like, dude, next turn I'm gonna go into the ultimate dungeon and I'm gonna get maybe another Grief. I don't know. What's the biggest thing you can find? Maybe there's actually like the one of a Traxxan there. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
So she could go into like the middle one is where you can goad a creature basically, right? Where you can force a creature to attack next turn, which is what Picon wants to do anyway.
Right.
You play the game for him. But this is rough. She needs something really... Yeah, Solitude is one of the better cards she could have drawn there. Like one of the very best, I want to even say. But it still might not be good enough. You probably take out the Grief, I would guess. Or maybe even the Skeleton.
I think the Skeleton is a little better now.
Yeah.
The Grief has already done its job, and
It's
a 3-2...
smaller.
yeah, like a 4-1 is like much better than a 3-2, I believe.
She's trying to make it work somehow. Yeah, it's a Skeleton. Do you have one of those skeletons in your shop?
I do.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Dude, you're getting to the point where I keep asking you about those tokens and you have them all.
So for everyone, you know, if you want to check it out, savatarix.com. Not a sponsor of this channel.
You know, you should have like a skeletal scrying token so people can remember how much they paid for X. Okay, so... Oh, dude, that's a card I always lose to. Voidwalker. Another near unblockable card. And a white bordered South to Plowshares to probably take the game. Like, this is going to be really... Oh, yeah, you can't play the second. Ooh.
Yeah, see, like a little bit of a reminder here.
The police is on its job. Police stepping in. Sorry, sir, you have to do that on the opponent's upkeep. That's probably not what the judge said. Yeah, that's just gonna, like, walk it back. No big deal. Probably, like, caution, warning, whatever. Not too much Picon can do here anyway at this point, right? Well, let's see. Voidwalker is such a cool card. Dude, I love the card. It's one of my favorite cards that got printed in the last couple of years.
it's one of the best like sideboard creatures almost. Like you see it in a couple of main decks, but like Rescaminator or even some mono black you know, piles, mono black mid-range decks, even the ones with the like Besiege the Mirror, Helm of Obedience combo, like they do run Voidwalker as a plan B creature out of the sideboard.
Yeah, you remember when like mono black decks, they used to play like horrible, terrible creatures in the main deck.
Uh-huh.
But now all of a sudden, like you got utility creatures and they are good. Like Grief, you got Voidwalker, all that kind of stuff, like Bowmaster. Like you get your utility and they do something beyond that.
Absolutely.
And that's... I remember a couple of years ago, like even on our podcast, we always talked about like how black is by far the worst color in, like, in Legacy at least.
Oh yeah.
And it's come around, right?
Oh
like,
yeah.
What would you say is the worst color in Legacy right now?
Green or white, I think.
Yeah, white has fallen off big time, right?
Like yeah, white is tough. There's always death and taxes, but
is there though?
Like
it needs to splash black by these days.
Yeah, I mean that's just like how good black is, right?
So we went to the final dungeon. Like, if you can actually remember the names of all those dungeons, I'm going to buy you ice cream afterwards. And we found a Solitude. Solitude is going to take out the other Solitude, the old... Dude, there's old bordered Solitude.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, the classic land from the top, shake hands.